need more?
I don't know, because we told them 40 people. And I had to move stuff into the bar fridge because I have no room. And then I sent my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law home with huge unopened catering trays, pollo, carne, puerco, rice, beans. Like they had a whole box full that they were going to freeze because she's due next month, so that they don't have to cook. They can just freeze it and heat it up as they need. I sent like 3 people home.
Becca's talking about how much food they had at the
at catering
50th birthday party last night for Peanut.
Yeah, we had Peanut's. Peanut's birthday was on the 7th, but we did it yesterday, and we got catering, and we told them it was for 40 people. And I was telling Jen, I was like, I think they thought we said 400 because it was insane the amount of food that we had. So I told Peanut, I was like, we should get an extra freezer for the garage if you can find space, because, that's really good food. It's a whole huge catering tray of chicken, a whole huge catering trays of carnitas and pork. And, I'm like, that's meat, and it was so cheap, Jen. That's the thing. I think we paid $350.
Wow. And for all that food.
Yeah, for that much.
She was sending people home with big trays of food.
Yeah, with full trays from the catering place that we hadn't even opened. Like we only opened to label because nothing was labeled, so we had to, label everything. And yeah, I sent so many people home with like full trays of food, and then chips and salsa and guacamole, and I mean it was just insanity. So.
Johnny's class is running a little bit long, so hopefully he'll be here in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Happy Mother's Day
to everyone.
To all the moms and grandmas and fur moms.
Mm-hmm. My fur baby's down here. Jennie's is over there somewhere.
Was over here. She jumped down. Little Bella was up here.
Yeah, Braxy's
I was
down here.
planting flowers all day.
Oh, what'd you plant?
Flowers and tomato plants. I got my cherry tomatoes, and I still haven't planted my regular tomatoes. But my window boxes, I decided, you know what? I'm not spending a lot of money on them this year. I didn't make them as pretty as I normally like the variety of plants. So it's basically petunias and pinks mixed in, because I can get them cheap here. I did on my back patio, so I can back porch, so I can grab it quick when I'm cooking. I did a pretty good sized planter with a small purple basil plant, which will fill it, like it'll grow and fill it eventually. So I like having my spices on the back porch where I can grab them, like my cilantro.
Yeah, Peanut killed all my herbs when he went crazy with the horticultural spray. I said, don't spray it. And he did. And he killed everything. He killed all the strawberries. I told you I had to go buy new strawberry plants. And when I went, they had none. I had to get the huge ones. My chives, dead. My cilantro, dead. My parsley, dead. Because I told him, I said, don't spray. I know what I'm doing.
Well, and if you got it on the soil might be ruined.
No, the reason that it killed everything. Hi, Lori. Happy Mother's Day. Is because he sprayed it directly on the leaves, and you're supposed to wet the leaves, like drench them first and then spray it. He didn't do that. He just went directly with the spray. So it burnt the leaves, like crispified, Jen. They look like they were torched,
Well, my poison ivy that I had a problem with in my labyrinth garden last year, because birds like transfer stuff from the woods out my gardens. So far, I have not seen any poison ivy come up yet. I'm like, knock on wood.
Yeah. So happy Mother's Day to everybody. Hope everybody's having a nice Sunday. Oh, cheesecake, Jen. I have enough cheesecake to last me a lifetime. I'm like, I'm eating that. So I'll probably weigh like 800 pounds next week.
You could freeze that.
We don't have any room in the freezer. And we got the huge, I went to Costco and got the cheesecake. I was like, holy hell. It was the most amazing cheesecake ever. And it was only $17 for a huge thing of cheesecake. And I only got two. And even people were taking leftovers of that, So, yeah, but the cheesecake was amazing. So I have enough food to live through the apocalypse.
Big thank you to everybody. Last week's fundraiser for the ACLU, we've raised over $3,900 so far. The donate button still works, so anyone that wants to go back, it'll work indefinitely. You can go back in a month, in a week, whatever you want. That donate button will still be working.
And we need the ACLU now more than ever.
Yeah, big time.
So, I was telling Jenny, I'm sorry if I'm a little off today, but I have like a sinus headache and it's all right here, only on this side of my face. And even if I go like this to my eye, it hurts. But it's like I've been popping Motrin all day long, hoping that, because I didn't drink. I was telling Jenny, I was like, I'm not hungover. I did not drink. I was like the only sober person out there besides my sister-in-law, because she can't drink. She's pregnant, babysitting chaperoning a frat party, basically, but yeah, I have a headache. So, hey, Jen, are you supposed to pinch snapdragons when they start coming up?
I don't know. I haven't grown snapdragons in decades. Because I used to grow them when I lived in New Jersey, but it's been a long time.
My little planter outside, I just threw seeds in there. I threw snapdragon seeds and foxglove seeds.
I don't remember pinching them until I was deadheading them.
The foxgloves, I don't know why. I think I got like 3 or 4 plants to come out of the seeds. But all of my snapdragons, they all came up and they've been up for months now. But Jen, they are so tall, they're over the length of the fence. The height of the fence. That's how I was like, was I supposed to pinch those? And the only reason I'm asking is because everybody is like, I've never seen them so tall. They're usually short. And I'm like, was I supposed to cut them? You know what I mean? Because like they're huge. They're like over the fence. That's how tall. And they're full of flowers. The whole stalk is full of flowers. So it's not like just flowers on the top. It's all the way down, So yes, foxgloves are toxic to pets and humans, but Braxy doesn't. She doesn't go anywhere near that stuff.
Foxglove and larkspur, I love both. My labyrinth, all the daisies have buds on them already, and it's usually it doesn't turn into that field of daisies until around June. So I'm like, wow, I think they're going to bloom early. My white clematis has buds all over it that it looks like it's going to open up in a week or so. That's early for it.
Yeah, we have been unseason. Like yesterday, it was unseasonably warm here. It was in the 80s. I was like, what? In May? That's insane. Because last year we didn't hit the summer until like way at the end of September. The whole summer over here, it was just like, the coastal marine layer that was coming in. And we only got like that 1 week of summer. At the very end of September it showed up, which is at that point it's the fall, but yesterday it was 80 here. I was like, what the hell? So
we're still in the 60s. We're supposed to get up to close to 80 tomorrow, I think, but we're still like today. I think today was like 70, 71, something like that. It was a little warmer.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
But we're not getting frost, so I can go ahead and get my tomato plants in the ground.
Yeah, we're already getting tomatoes here, which reminds me, I need to take the tomatoes out of the cage and clip them back a little bit because they're getting too bushy to where you can't see what the hell's in there. And when you can't see, that's when the worms come. So I need to take the cages off and trim them up a little bit. But we have tomatoes. They're just not ready yet. They're green.
I'm seeing stink bugs already outside. I'm like, oh God, it's going to be a bad year for them. Kind of early to be seeing them. See, I'll see them on the outside of windows, trying to get in.
So any announcements, Jenny?
If you would like to schedule a reading with me, visit jenlyntarot.com. I have openings in June and July. And if you would like to attend my Healing Energy seminar in October, get your registration in now. There's a cutoff. It cuts off in June, early June. I can't remember what the date was I set in the computer, but because I have to order food and stuff. So make sure you get registered in May. And I teach for those, because I this keeps coming up when I'm doing personal readings. Even if you have never done any kind of healing energy work, there's a technique behind it. There's a breathing technique. There's a way that we send the energy. We get a lot of practice in on each other. And everyone's always amazed they can do it. Anyone can do this because there is a technique behind it. So, we start with basic things like clearing chakras, clearing energy blocks. And then I go into teaching you how to align the astral body with the physical body. So the astral body has the memory of everything healthy. That's why I work with the astral body back into the physical. And that's something my guides taught me. That's not something I learned in a seminar. That's when you just trust your guides and they will show you.
Mm-hmm.
And Johnie will be there. I asked him to do a little lecture on one subject, so he may actually speak a little bit at the seminar.
I see Mom in the chat. She said happy Mother's Day to both of us. Hi, Mom. Happy Mother's Day to you, too.
I had Lucy outside a little bit while I was working on my porches planters. Had her in her little leash and harness, and she just sat there sniffing the air like, yeah. She loves that fresh air.
Mm-hmm.
I'm drinking fennel seed tea right now because that helps when you have too much fluid, too much snot. It helps break up saliva. It helps break up.
As soon as I noticed this morning, I went downstairs, went into the pantry, got out my little honey, took a whole spoonful. And I was like, there you go. Local honey for allergies is perfect. But
I do that, but it just doesn't seem to help here. The allergens are so strong. Like I would hate to see what I'm like if I wasn't eating local honey, because I always do that. Anytime I relocate to a different state, first thing I do is get local honey.
I've been doing the honey, but I still have to get my antihistamines. I have them in my purse. That's the only thing I didn't take today was my antihistamine because I didn't want to be mixing. I don't mix drugs. I'm not a pharmacist. I'm not a doctor. So I take one thing or I take another and that's it, So I'll probably take antihistamines tomorrow because it's just like I'm telling you, it's unseasonably warm. I was like, it better not be 100 and something degrees over here because we're right by the coast, like I can see the ocean from my window. Like I would scream.
Joyce, yes, the other kitties go outside, but only in the cat stroller because I don't treat them for fleas and ticks and all that. So I keep them off the ground in the cat strollers with the mesh that they can look through. It's like being on a screened-in porch. And they're not harness trained or anything. So I take the three of them out in the stroller. There's videos of me with them in the stroller outside. So I usually walk them around the neighborhood if it's not too hot. And then I put them in the shade underneath a tree in my backyard while I'm doing yard work. They like to sniff the fresh air too, but Lucy does not like to be in the stroller with them. She likes to be in charge when she's outside on her little leash, go where she wants to go. Princess Fluffy Butt likes to rule the roost.
Yeah, Braxy's still being a brat about eating. I was talking to my aunt yesterday because she came for Peanut's birthday, and she was saying that Braxy's mom went through a phase where she was the exact same way. She would not touch anything unless it was prepared, like cooked. She's like, I couldn't get her to eat. I had to go to the store and I bought so much ground beef and I cooked it and then she ate. I was like,
Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you, Daniel. So yeah, Braxy's still
You
going. The only thing she ate, I went to the pet store, Dexter's Deli, yesterday because I got a text to come in and say happy dog mom day and that you could get a free cupcake for your pup. So I went to Dexter's Deli. I got her the bag of fish that she likes, the little sprats, and they gave me the free cupcake. That's the only thing she ate. She didn't want her hamburgers. She didn't want her kibble. Nope. She only ate I mean, and I can see too, because there was a bunch of people here yesterday, so it's probably too much for her, but she only ate the cupcakes. So that's all she's had. So hopefully she'll eat her dinner tonight.
I fell asleep on my sofa last night, woke up this morning, and Lucy was on my head on the pillow, and Skewy was right here, little Johnny Fortescue doing the neck hug and purring and rubbing and stuff. And Bella was on the back of the sofa, and Roro was on the back of the sofa, and Bella was at my feet. I'm like, okay, I got them all.
Yeah, for the person saying to give her beef stock or chicken, I've already done that. And I didn't get it from the store because I had read somewhere that unless you read all the ingredients, there could be too much sodium or other chemicals in there and stuff that's toxic to them. So I got her the broth from the pet store, and I've left her kibble in her soak. She will not. It's like she doesn't have an interest in food. And after all that stuff, Jen, I told you I took her to the vet. All of her tests came back negative for everything. And I talked to the vet Friday, and she said, well, it could also be that since she just got off her heat cycle, her hormones are kind of all over the place. And I did not know. The vet told me it can take up to 3 months for their hormones to get back to normal because they only go through their heat cycle twice a year. Yeah. You know what I mean? So so she's like, it could be that, but she's like, and it's also something that she's seen in working class dogs that will go through phases where they're just not interested.
We women understand that our eating habits are different when we're
just for me, right before I get on my cycle, I lose. There'll be like a couple of days where I have cravings, and then when I'm on it, I'm not hungry at all. I don't even want to touch food, so I understand. So, I'm just keeping an eye on her. Her energy levels are the same. She doesn't have her poops are fine. She's not throwing up. The vet just said it could just be a cycle thing. So
thank you, Yahira, for the super chat. Yeah, Becca's very careful what she feeds Braxy. So she's a very good doggy mom.
No need to be lecturing me in the comments like, don't get it. I know. Stop. So anyways, yeah, Johnny.
My cats, like I always did canned food and hard food, kibble. And these kittens, they're not big canned food eaters. It's like, Lucy likes it every now and then, but the kittens, they're kind of kibble only. And I feed them a corn-free diet because corn just turns to yeast in a cat system. So I feed them a corn-free, grain-free diet. Mm-hmm. No, we're just gibby-gabbing Lee. We're not waiting on Johnny. We're just giving. But we always gibby-gab at the beginning of videos to allow time for the notification to go out that we're live. So we always gibby-gab at least 5 or 10 minutes. But sometimes we have more gibby-gab talk time.
I mean,
especially when it's the girls here, because come on. I haven't seen her since last Sunday. I got to catch up on everything.
And I was busy this week, just prepping the whole house, because there's Johnny. I have a fairly large house for just Peanut and I, with no kids or anything. It's just Peanut, me, and Braxy, and I don't have a house cleaner. So you know what I mean. Working during the day and then taking time after work. And like, okay, I'll do the kitchen today, and I'll do this bathroom tomorrow, and I'll do that bathroom tomorrow, and do you see what I'm saying? Like divvying up my week to clean the house before everybody came and freaking trashed it. So, there he is. There's my little shirt I got you.
Care
I was
Bears.
just telling Jenny and I was telling Stephanie too. I was like, I don't know what to get him for his birthday because I think I've clapped out on the Care Bears. I've overdone it.
Right there.
Oh, he's still there. Does it still smell like cupcake?
It does.
No way. I don't believe you.
Mm-hmm.
Because I saw a cup. It wasn't a Stanley, but it's a cup like this, and it had all the Care Bears. And I was like, you've overdone it on the fucking.
There's no such a thing.
Well,
I got
let's
a Care
see.
Bear calendar, a Care Bear ink pen, and a Care Bear and a Care Bear T-shirt and Care Bear cards. You can't have too many. That's the reason I like Care Bears. It's not the only. I exaggerate only by a little. My only good memories of school is the Care Bears. So I have an emotional attachment. The air sign person has an emotional attachment to something.
The Care Bears.
Other big thing is tarot cards.
Tarot cards and Care Bears.
And I would throw all these out the window for all the Care Bears in them.
Then I guess I'll get you another Care Bear for your birthday. But I didn't see any more that were smelly. The ones that I saw, they didn't have the smelly ones.
I don't need smells.
I'll keep looking. Just
Any announcements, Johnny?
No, nothing important.
There was one, but I forgot what it was.
Oh Lord, Johnny.
Well, we'll be on next Sunday if you think of it on your channel.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we got a new pope.
I think he's great.
That already had, before he even got elected, dissed JD and Trump. So
I read an article too that people from Project 2025, or not Project 2025, but people associated to the Heritage Foundation were trying to influence and get their pick of a new pope. I'm like, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not well versed in law, but I wish one of these days somebody would seriously take a look at that organization and disbar it, disassemble it, dismember it, whatever, and get rid of it, because it is, at this point, in my view, it is a terrorist organization, in my view.
Well, they're talking about investigating the American Bar Association now.
Oh yeah, that's because they don't want anybody going up against them. But so I guess we can start. I'm going to start off with something that's very, very gross, but I just want to get it out of the way so we can not end on a gross note. So recently there was an incident with a woman by the name of Shiloh Hendricks. Have you heard about this one, Johnny?
No.
Shiloh Hendricks decided, she was at a park with her kids. A little black boy who happens to have ADHD, 5 years old, mind you, I guess was trying to take the toy from her kid or whatever, and she lost her ever-loving effing mind. Started screaming, not yelling, screaming at the top of her lungs at a 5-year-old child, racial slurs, the N-word. And a man just happened to be there, and he recorded the entire incident on his phone. Okay. Well, the story gets better. There's an online Christian site. It's not GoFundMe. It's something else. I forget what it is off the top of my head. Guess how much money she's raised? Because now she's the victim that a black kid with autism, a 5-year-old child, dared piss her off. She has raised over $750,000 for being a effing racist.
Almost $1 million just
almost
for being
$1 million for being a racist. Okay. And then
she doesn't have any lawsuits or anything against her. It's like, what the hell is she raising money for?
The last report I saw today said that it was $750,000. Kitty Kisses is saying it's $800,000. I don't know. There's a whole online movement. It's not GoFundMe. It's something else. There's a whole online movement to try to get her to not get that payment. But then on the other side of it, the NAACP is also going after her ass, as they should. Because that's what makes you think. And then there was a whole apology tour, not from her, but from people who know her that went on this whole apology tour, doing videos on TikTok, that she's very sorry she did that. She's going through a divorce and a custody battle. I'm like, so losing your mind and screaming racial slurs at a 5-year-old at a park is going
throwing the N-word, come on,
is going to help your case in a custody battle? Like, make that make sense, you know? So I want to see first, because there's a whole,
those nasty words don't come out unless you've already been using them.
Yep. Yep. So I want to know first. It's not GoFundMe. That's not the thing that she's using. It's good deed something or other. Let me see.
So it's almost like a religious.
Yeah,
it's a MAGA type
of a platform, but it's last I saw, it was $754,000 that she raised, because, you know, she's the victim.
Yeah,
after she was like,
let's go support what's his name that got away with killing 2 people in
Rittenhouse.
Rittenhouse. Yeah, Rittenhouse. They did fundraising for him too, because his
but
life is ruined. It's like, well, then shut your damn mouth.
But here's the
guns
thing.
Away.
There's racist everywhere we look. Even the people that aren't brazen enough. Give, Send, Go. Thank you very much. That's the site that she's using, is Give, Send, Go. That there's racist everywhere among us. It's just some of them get so brazen sometimes that it just comes out like that. What disgusts me is people that saw that and go, yep, I'm going to go donate to her, because clearly how dare she have to suffer through being in the same vicinity as a black kid? You know, I mean, it was just, why can't you raise money for something good? You know what I mean? But I want to know, is she going to be able to get that? Is she going to be able to get that money from the Give, Send, Go? Yeah, she and her family are being threatened. Good. Because that's exactly what she did to that little boy, who was autistic, by the way. No, the money was not frozen by the bank. It was not. So will she get the money?
The smug look on her face in the videos too is just disgusting. It's like she knew exactly what she was saying. Oh, yeah. I don't care if she's going through divorce or what.
And here's the thing: you're going through a divorce and a custody battle. How is losing your shit in a public space in front of other children, verbally abusing another child, and slinging racial slurs going to help you in your custody battle? Like, no. So what? I had a bad day at work, so that gives me license to go screaming racial slurs at people? No. What'd you get, Johnny?
So I asked, and at first it did not answer, so I asked again, but I'll show you what I got first. This feels like all the rest of them. The 6 of Swords and the Hierophant. Someone is going to parade her around, because that's what they do. They did it to the not Pam Bundy, whoever the stupid girl is, who was the one who, the county clerk lady.
Oh, yeah.
And then you found out she's been divorced 7 times. And then they did it to the guy who was on Fox News, and the rancher who was trying to use his cows on government land, and Kyle Rittenhouse. And they do this to those people. The Knight of Cups, they'll parade her around like the spring chicken. And I do get that there is some money here. 9 of Pentacles, a whole lot of it too. And the Page of Pentacles, some sort of agreement there. The Strength card, it does have to go through a bit of tussle back and forth, because there are people trying to stand in the way. The problem I find is with this whole parading around of a person. They did this to another mother too, whose child was seemingly being picked on. And he had special needs of some sort, it looked like in the video. And they raised a bunch of money for her. And then it comes to find, oh, she's a racist. And you go to her Facebook page, she's got all this stuff. And so she had all these athletes and white athletes sort of rallying around her kid because they thought her kid was being bullied. Turns out her kid was at school calling people racial slurs too. And so I think a whole lot of their situation is about to hit the public sphere because they're going to make her a trophy. Therefore, they also make her a target for gossip. And so all of her business is about to hit the airwaves. So y'all watch this space because they're about to parade her around and you're about to see and you're about to also hear who she really is while you've seen it.
It's too time.
So you don't get a yes or no if she's going to
get the money. Yes.
She's going to get all $700-something thousand.
There's Nine of Pentacles is a big chunk of security.
You know what? And that fucking pisses me off because now we're saying you're going to get rewarded. You can work hard every day for the rest of your life and never see a dime. Go scream racial slurs at a child and watch the racists in this country make you a millionaire like that overnight. You don't even have to play the lotto.
Hate speech, hate crime. It's terrorism. It's domestic terrorism, pure and simple. She's in the future. She's going to have some problems. She could end up getting her ass in jail later. Right now, they're looking into the funding, but I get it moves forward and it's complete, meaning she gets it. But later, I do get they're going to parade her around too. The like-minded people, they're going to put her on full display, cling to her and use her as a manipulation. But something else is going to come up with her, and she's going to end up with an indictment and possibly jail time.
Well, that's segueing into my next question, but I get family, news, public, house, writer, and then garden. Or families that are delivering something to a network. Yes, she'll get the money. There's also perhaps stuff in her own family, her home life that makes it to a vast network of people. So like her private business getting out there.
It's a curse.
Or also perhaps the people that were sending her money, the families that were sending her money on this platform, something happens where their business it comes out. But yeah, she'll get the money. My next question, the NAACP, I need to know if they're also on the thing, because on the YouTube donation, because I would love to run a thing for them, because they stepped right up to the plate 10 toes down on this one and said, we want a full investigation and we're ready to press charges. Because what that woman did went over and above and beyond your First Amendment rights.
There's a
way
kid
beyond it, to a child in a park. Like, I remember, which is lucky I wasn't that kid's mom, because I would have beat the Botox and the fucking filler right out of her goddamn face. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's just, but the NAACP stepped in and they're wanting an investigation because they're ready to press criminal charges. So I want to know, when will the NAACP be successful in securing criminal charges against her?
When we did the National Urban League for the Juneteenth fundraiser a couple of years ago, I don't think the NAACP was in there at the time, but let me see if they're in there now.
I can't remember what state this happened in. I don't remember it was like Wisconsin or Michigan. It was somewhere in the Midwest.
They're in now.
Yeah. So next time it rolls around back to my turn, I want to do a fundraiser for the NAACP, because we're going to need them 10 toes down on all this bullshit. That's,
So wait, what's the question again? I'm sorry.
Will the NAACP be successful in bringing criminal charges against this Shiloh Hendricks woman? It happened in Minnesota. Thank you, Terry. I knew it was the Midwest somewhere.
They're not by themselves. Her, for whatever reason. Again, I think it's a curse. This whole, because let's say, for instance, Like the woman who was in her dog, who was walking her dog, and she started screaming at the black guy, and then she said she's going to call the police because he asked her to put the dog on a leash.
Oh yeah,
Then
I
she
remember that.
lost her job and all that type of stuff. But it's like that story got to fizzle out because somebody recorded it, but nobody paraded her around. This is too much attention for the kind of person she is or the kind of life that she lives, and something else comes of this because that money is attached to some sort of celebrity because again they get to parade her around, and it's a curse. The Page of Cups and the Three of Pentacles, there's somebody else too. It seems to come maybe out of nowhere or it's a surprise of some sort, but the Three of Pentacles, they're not alone in pressing charges. So I think they will go through. There is a lawyer here, the Queen of Swords. There's also another lawyer here for some like kind of human rights or social work or she's custody. She's doing a custody battle. Okay, well, there's some sort of social work or something like that, whatever you would call it. I'm losing the word there. And then the Six of Swords. So yes, somebody is bringing some cases and charges, some investigations, and all that kind of stuff. King of Cups here. There's something around a religious leader with her too. She's very tight with. He's the one who's also parading her around. There's a defense for that relationship for some reason, and so I don't know if he wants some of the money or what's happening there too. But some sort of religious leader is connected with her too. So her situation is splintering, I think.
You think it's going to spread and grow and become more problematic? That's kind of like what I'm getting to. Mm-hmm. And I hope it does. I hope she loses her job. I hope that if she's renting a house, she gets freaking evicted for whatever reason. May she never know a moment of peace ever for the rest of her miserable fucking life.
I think she stirs up crap at school with her kids. At her kids' school and has to move them, has to pack her bags and move. She does something that is off balance and tarnishes her image again. The ACLU, they're already on this, looking into something new with speech, hate speech. She's attracting a lot of attention and a lot of supporters to herself. And that's what's so disturbing. But I get there's a completion and then they move in on her on something else. There's something else she's going to do. So they're not done with her yet. Bad news is coming. And what I'm getting is at a time where it seems like America is on the verge of trying to heal some of the divide. That's when she does something at school with one of her kids and gets in trouble again. So I don't think the NAACP is done with her yet. She's gonna do something else.
Well, she sounds very stable.
Yeah. I mean, really.
Happy Mother's Day to the Karen. I hate to call people Karen because we have nice people named Karen.
The video went pretty viral on TikTok and it is disturbing to watch. And I have a pretty big stomach for a lot of things, but when it comes to racism, I don't. That's one of my main triggers right there because I have lived it and I have seen it. And I have experienced it firsthand, and it's the most disgusting shit ever. So I have a very low tolerance for racism. So I'm just letting you guys know, for those of you that have a trigger to racism, just be mindful because it's disturbing to watch that video. I'm getting a series like a series of sorrows. Like it just doesn't end for her. It follows her to work everywhere. It ends.
If it says anything out of line on a job, bam, out.
What was that, Johnny?
I said I'm so happy for her.
Yeah, it's like because it's clouds and stars. Yeah. A series of sorrows, a series of unfortunate events. Shit just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. I would not be surprised if there's people looking to hack into her stuff. I would not be surprised if people on the internet are working to dox her. I would not be afraid. I would not be not afraid, but surprised if people on the internet sleuths are doxing her, trying to figure out where she works, everything, because this is a series of unfortunate events and it just follows her around like a shadow. Like she's not going to be able to, you know what I mean? So you made the bed, bitch. Sleep in it, you know?
Yeah,
so
please and thank you.
What's that?
I said please and thank you.
Yeah. I can't with racism, dude. It's just I can't. Anything else I can stomach. That no. That's a hard no. Thank you, June. So okay, let me go back to my question. So Newark Airport. Y'all see the shit that happened there? What, over 100 canceled flights? Shit couldn't take off. WTF?
Problems with their signals and I can't blame the air traffic controllers for walking out, because
no,
I wouldn't want to be responsible for hundreds of thousands of people's lives with an interrupted signal. I mean, yeah, fine. You know what? We're shutting down. You'll have to send them over to LaGuardia or JFK. Sorry.
It's safety. How many? This administration was not even 100 days in, and they had seven. Count them, 7. That's one hand and almost the other one. You know, plane crashes. When we just went through 4 years with nothing, not a freaking sheet. And then they get in there, fire everybody, get into every freaking shit that they shouldn't have been able to get into. And then planes are freaking falling out of the sky, you know, like, so yeah. Newark Airport. I guess I want to know.
Well, fired a bunch of
air traffic controllers,
and FAA people, so
with no authority to do so.
With no authority to do so. When we already
louder for the people in the back, Johnny, say it.
We already had a shortage. When we already had a shortage of air traffic controllers.
Can you imagine? That is the equivalent of anybody in this chat going into work and the plumber from McDonald's shows up and tries to fire you. Are you just going to pack your shit and go? No.
In an area where there's 3 airports right there in New York, all around New York, it's very high traffic with 3 airports. You know how many planes are flying around all the time. It's insane.
Yeah.
But hey, they also targeted the Newark mayor the other day, so doesn't surprise me that they're attacking the Newark airport.
Get into that because I've worked on board a ship on the roof as a plane captain. I know exactly what happened to that, and it's not. Oh, they did. One of them didn't land. It missed the cats, the trip wires. There's at the end.
The wheel hits it.
Yeah, at the very far end of an aircraft carrier, is it 3 or 4? I think it's 4 wires that they can latch onto to stop the plane. They missed it and just off. The other one was not properly secured. Either it fell off because they were taxiing around the aircraft on board the ship in a wrong, or it was parked and not properly secured. That's it. That has nothing to do with air traffic.
Rocking and rolling on a sea.
And let me tell you, I've worked on board aircraft carriers. When those fuckers start rocking, you'll be on the floor, walking on the ground. Next thing you know, you're up in the air, walking on the walls. I never thought it would happen. Because I'm thinking in my head, oh, it's a huge ship full of equipment and people. No.
The ocean's the most powerful thing on earth.
So I wouldn't even get into conspiracy about that. That falls on the Navy. That has nothing to do with air traffic controllers. Because air traffic controllers are not operating missions on board ships. That's totally different. That would fall on the skipper of that ship. So anyways, what were you saying, Jen?
Was I saying something?
Yeah, about Newark before I went on my tirade.
No, just that, that's a dense, Trump loves to go after anything in the New York area. He loves to go after Newark, in particular, because they have a black mayor and it's a predominantly higher black population in Newark. He loves attacking Newark, loves to. So I would guarantee you that he told Elon, make sure you cut back on flight attendants or air traffic controllers in Newark.
I mean, Chris Christie did it to the mayor of Fort Port something.
Yeah.
For the Bridgegate, right?
Bridgegate. Mm-hmm.
Because why is Newark having a problem with their signal? And you've got right there JFK and LaGuardia, and they're not having a problem. Come on.
So I guess my question is, will we see more of these incidents where airports were shutting down and we're not flying? I mean,
I'm glad they did it. They kept people safe.
They should have.
That's an international airport. There's flights coming in all the time from overseas, as well as domestic flights. It's a huge airport.
I bet it would have worked if all them Africans was coming in.
Oh, you know what? Since we're manifesting stuff today on Mother's Day, next time the Palpatine putrid ash dish is flying in the air, all you got to do, make it real simple, send them the wrong way. And oops, if it falls out of the sky. Oops. I will go there. I will be that nasty person wishing death on somebody, because otherwise I'd be, no, I'm not Mother Teresa. I ain't Mother Teresa. Just like that plane he's about to get from that you were telling me about.
Better.
Not only is that thing going to be bugged 300 ways to Sundays, I hope it has engine failures mid-flight and just falls out of the sky.
It's a Boeing.
Like, no, I'm not even kidding you right now.
It's a Boeing plane, so here comes Roro. What you doing there?
So there are some more incidents. This is closer towards the fall, though, when there's, well, this in particular thing. There could be more forever, because 4 years and nothing, and then 100 days and everything. There's been something every single week with transportation in this country, and the 8 of Swords would be the limiting or the restricting of something, and the Chariot would be your transportation. The Wheel of Fortune and the 3 of Cups. So this is going to be in time. This is like scheduled things. So it's probably canceled flights and things of that nature, but it's not because of weather, not because of something that should cancel a flight. This is more incompetence or judgment issues, the judgment card. So yes, to answer the question. There's no, I don't see disaster or anything like that. So you don't have to be afraid to fly, but you probably will be inconvenienced.
Listen, I would have a backup for the backup for the backup. And I know gas prices are about to go through the roof, but you're at this point, I'm thinking you're better off taking a way longer vacation and driving your ass or taking a train. Like I would not.
I'm not afraid to fly right now, but I do think there are certain areas that Trump is targeting. I'm flying to Portland in October. I'm not afraid to fly right now. And airfare is really cheap right now because we have no
nobody wants to fly. And then you get there and we're canceling. Because they canceled a bunch of flights. I think over 100 and something flights they canceled out of New York. And then, it was just a mess.
There's going to be a big legal problem over this. So I don't know if that's, these judges saying, no, you can't fire these people, and then they have to employ them again. There's a very strong legal case coming in. So this is chaotic. It's tumultuous. But there's a big legal problem, and I get transportation department is going to get the support that it needs eventually in hiring. But this is going to take a while. Temperance here. So there's massive legal problems, and all it takes is for one of those planes to come down in a place like Newark to have a class action lawsuit against the whole administration.
And it's not that, Jen. This stupid moron and Maybelline eyeliner over there are laughing because they think they're going to have all this tourism coming for the Olympics. It's like, no, motherfucker, nobody's stepping foot here, especially when planes are falling out of the sky. And then you got JD Vance over there joking about, oh, well, if you know, but you got to leave or ICE is going to come get you. ICE is, like snatching people off the streets right now. Why the fuck would there is travel advisories abroad to not come to the U.S.? Do you think anybody's going to show up when they can just turn on the TV and watch it? Nobody's going to. It's going to be the saddest fucking Olympics in all. It would be the equivalent of hosting.
Can we read next after this? Can we read on? Will the Olympics have boycotts?
Oh, you know,
different countries, because like we boycotted. I can't remember when it was, but there was a one that we boycotted one time.
I'm getting more shutdowns at airports, but this is reading almost like power outages too, because this would be power, energy, block, and shut down. So there's something here, not just because of manpower, but like power outages,
taking the power grid down,
or energy outages. Do you see what I'm saying? So. And I know Lori was reading about this last week. She was getting power outages too. You know, so I mean,
they've already been having them. I mean, like they had in Spain and Portugal. Well, we've already had them here.
But the thing is, it doesn't necessarily have to be a hack. It's these fuckers have fucked with everything so bad. You know what I mean? That here's all these red states about to get hit by a bunch of storms. There's no FEMA. He's not going to give them FEMA.
Remember in his first term, they hacked a water plant down in Florida
and held it hostage.
Remember that?
Mm-hmm. So what was the question you wanted to ask? Because I got to circle back to something
because you were talking a lot about the Olympics. Will we see massive boycotting of the Olympics?
Can we do instead? Well, not instead, but first.
What's that?
Can we do first? Because it's happening first. The World Cup and FIFA are coming to the U.S. too. Mm-hmm. And that's in U.S., Canada, and Mexico. But it's a really big deal internationally, like the Olympics is. And maybe one would kick off the other. And the FIFA chieftain, the guy who does the press over there, was trying to reassure people because Donald Trump and Vance gave some sort of border policy speech and all these type of things, and you know how they are. And so he was trying to tamper down some of that rhetoric because he needs people to participate and buy tickets.
No, they're not fascist at all. It's totally fine. I mean,
you can go over there. They're not going to ship you to El Salvador.
They're arresting people off the streets without due process and sending them off to enslavement camps. But no, it's totally fine. Totally fine.
Just because they're trying to reopen Alcatraz.
You want to know if FIFA's going to have a big attendance?
If they'll have the boycott first, and then maybe the Olympics too, but FIFA.
Okay.
I mean, our own sports teams, a lot of them boycott going to the White House to get, honors and stuff. Well, look, hey, JD Vance broke the damn trophy.
Yeah, I told you, he broke the trophy and then killed the Pope.
All in 1 week.
So there's your bullet points to Doge. Broke trophy, killed Pope.
What a horrible person. I'm telling you, they should have made Trump Pope. And just let his first official act be meeting with JD Vance.
For a man that's not even Catholic, has never read the Bible, because not only is he doesn't care, but he's also illiterate.
He's too busy working on he's
not Catholic, by the way, to be the
his wife's very involved with the Pray the Gay Away camps, conversion. intervention camp.
Maybe take your husband because he's
Which
deep
are-
in the fucking closet, dude.
Which are illegal in a lot of European countries, by the way.
Mhm.
It only happens here in the U.S. where we got the maniacs in
You
the.
cannot tell me JD Vance has not bumped uglies with Peter Thiel. You cannot convince me. You cannot convince me. You can't. Those two look like they were made for each other. And then him and the fucking elf over there, what's his name? Moses. Those two look like they've been.
He's so repressed, Jesus. I can't with him.
They're pink mafia.
He's not repressed, actually. He's closeted. Not even like closeted gay. He's like closeted a whole bunch of stuff. I think yes. There's the Tower and the Three of Swords, the Two of Cups, and the Page of Wands. Trying to talk because the border thing was what they were focusing on, and so here with the deals and the conversations, they're really trying to tamper down the rhetoric, and I don't think it's happening because it's not just this; it's everything.
It's everything.
And if it was just this, then you could have some sort of conversation, and maybe he could clean it up, even though he would never. But no, it's everything from the bottom to the top is a disaster. From his policies to his actions to their words, all of it. So
to his makeup, Johnny. His makeup. Did you see the latest video of him? I saw this comment on TikTok and I can't get it out of my head. He's standing at the White House and it's a side profile, and you can see all the orange right here. A huge line of demarcation. So his whole pink ear, his whole pink neck, and somebody made a comment saying he looks like when you put spaghetti sauce in Tupperware and you can
He literally looks like they just slam an orange pie in his face.
Yep. Tupperware spaghetti. That's the bronzer. Tupperware spaghetti.
watch it.
I can't unsee it now. I can't unsee it. Oh my god. It's like, don't you know you're supposed to spray that with stuff first so it doesn't stick?
Well, and I saw pictures where they took that picture and they said, Canada,
It's so bad.
the Gulf of America right there in his.
They're saying I'll never look at Tupperware the same again. Every time you
all I can see is the little orange stain going around.
You're never gonna look at your Tupperware the same again.
I'm like, oh, Trump.
You're gonna look at Trump. Oh my god. Sorry, Jenny, I didn't mean to.
Like he's SpaghettiOs.
Oh my god.
I mean,
sorry, Jenny.
In the old day, they used to do what they called bowl cuts, where they put a bowl on you and cut straight around.
Mm-hmm.
The Mo.
He's like the bowl cut of makeup application.
It's unblended. It's like, is somebody doing his makeup or is it him?
Because I swear to God, they put the dog collar of shame on him and spray in there.
Oh my god!
It's just right there.
Because why not go all the way up? What is this line?
And as vain as he is, you would think
like
your
blending.
hair doesn't cover your ears. Your collar is not high enough to cover your whole ginormous 80 pounds of fat that's hanging off your
vagina neck.
Yeah, your vagina neck. What I'm just surprised that as vain as he is, he doesn't think to tell somebody to blend his makeup.
He doesn't look in a mirror.
He thinks he's
Come on, that man looks in a mirror more than anybody we've ever
he
probably
he's
had.
And mind you, if he's looking at it, he probably don't see it.
You cannot tell me he's never seen a picture of his side profile, especially the one that's been floating around where it's Tupperware spaghetti all around here and everything else is pink. You know?
Hail.
Pink and orange.
FIFA. Yes. Judgment. The devil on transportation. The image of what's going on here and looking at other options. I get a lot of people assessing and laying low. So Small,
yeah.
small crowds. Not going to do as well as they think.
Heart, man, snake. A passionate man, that's a liar. A snake, vindictive, betrayer. You cannot trust this person. I wouldn't expect huge crowds at FIFA. Because why would you spend all that money to travel to come here to get snatched up by ICE and then deported to El Salvador?
You might as well wait till they go to Canada and just go there.
I mean, here's another thing. So El Salvador, Bukele done fucked up. Bukele fucked up. So I guess the UN gives Bukele over $300 million, the entire UN yearly, to help, because it's, corruption, developing country, trying to help them with their infrastructure, yada, yada, yada. Well, Bukele, in his infinite wisdom, decided to make a deal with Donald Trump for $6 million to take in all those people that are being sent without trial. Do you see what I'm saying? So now the entire UN is like, we're not going to give you the $300 million because you're helping and abetting with crimes of the Trump administration. So now Bukele is trying to backpedal. Well, you need to prove that these people have been, have been to court and have been deemed criminals. Like, he's trying to backpedal so hard. And then I think there was complaints made to the ICC from Venezuela and another country against El Salvador because of the illegal stuff that he's doing for Trump. So, and now he's trying to figure out how to get rid of the people that Trump sent them. So now Trump's talking about sending these people to Libya, of all places.
Yeah,
to
Libya, a war-torn country that doesn't even have a government in place.
That's in the middle of
we don't even have an embassy in Libya anymore.
So where are they going to put the prisoners? But Bukele is shitting his pants about how badly he fucked up. And not only that, he had the balls to come into our country and sit there with a fucking convicted felon and tell the American people, go fuck yourselves. I'm not giving him back.
There's nothing I can do.
There's nothing. I'm such a great deal maker. Look, he said there's nothing, and we can't do anything. We can't. They're just going to have to stay there.
Trump's answer to everything is, I don't know. If you haven't been watching Lawrence O'Donnell in the past week, I mean, every day he's covering things Trump answers. I don't know. The stupidest, most ignorant president we've ever had, or the most bluffing. Not sure.
And here's the thing. Bukele came here and sat in that White House in front of a press briefing and told the American people, and not just the American people, every government institution and our Constitution, go fuck yourself. It doesn't apply to me. And now, because Trump invited him to do that, he invited him to come here and insult us and our institutions and shit on our Constitution, because Trump has no regard for it. So why should anybody else? And now he's over there going, oh, I'm going to lose $300 million. Well, what did you think was going to happen associating yourself with this clown? I don't.
Trump probably promised him more to make up for it, so.
How much was it? Because he's getting $300 million from the UK, Jen. So what did he offer him? $500 million? How? From where? Who was he?
Everything they've been shutting down.
With what authority? Who's going to write that check? From what authority?
I mean, that's been coming up in the congressional hearings. He's misappropriating funds that were already budgeted. And using it for whatever he wants, just like he did the first time. He did not use the funds for what.
And this is another thing that pisses me off about the whole situation. We saw it happen the first time. All the money he stole from all those organizations to build the wall. Nobody bothered to lift a finger to backtrack and go, where the fuck did that money go? No, that's decades long now ago. And now they're doing it again brazenly in our faces, going, what are you going to do? We'll just jail.
And then he's got Stephen Miller, the Antichrist vampire, out there saying we're going to do away with habeas corpus.
Yeah.
Why would anyone come from overseas to our country when even Americans aren't going to have any civil rights and constitutional rights?
That's what I'm saying. It's like you would have to be insane to step foot in this country. you would have to be fucking insane. You're trying to get out right now. You're not trying to come here. You know, so I want to know, is Bukele, I'm going to say this with a grain of salt and the caveat, I am not putting any faith into the ICC. I appreciate what they're doing. But if they were effective at what they did, Putin would be in jail, and so would Netanyahu. So I don't pin your hopes on the ICC is going to come in and start arresting people, because if that were the case, Putin and Netanyahu would already be in fucking prison. So get that out of your heads, you know. But I want to know, is Bukele going to be in trouble with the ICC?
Is the El Salvadorian guy going to be in trouble?
Bukele, yeah.
Bukele. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I heard Kelly and I was like, who? Bukele.
I saw that too, Mom. We're going to talk about that next. About the dog killer.
Lord have mercy. First it's too bright, man. It's too dark. All you can see is glasses. Did I ever tell you I hated the sun? Did I ever say that?
Yeah, I hate it too, Johnny. I think we're vampires, you and me. I'd be perfectly happy living in a cave or anywhere where there's miserable Transylvania weather and the sun never comes out.
I would say I hate windows, but I like windows, but I hate the sun. I think he's going to call it quits with the Trump thing.
He's already trying to. He's already trying to, Johnny. He's trying to, like I said, he's backpedaling hard.
This is lessons learned with that world card. And then there's the full Donald Trump. Here's the legal stuff, too, with the Queen of Swords. But there's the Five of Pentacles, which is lack and loss and poverty. And so the money is being a huge issue. But this is groveling type of backpedaling, because you have the Temperance and the Eight of Cups. And so he's trying to give any excuse or any whatever he can possibly do to sort of get back in the good graces with the Lover's card. And so money talks, Donald Trump walks type of thing. And so if you're not going to literally get 500 million from the Trump administration, which why would you? He's going to have to backpedal.
Yeah, the only big legal problems I get are here in America. Big legal problems that are getting a lot of attention and illumination on what he's doing. So other foreign leaders working with the ICC, and there's the ICC on the bottom, are going to have victory in the messaging to him. So he's going to give up what he's doing.
And then what does he do with those people that he took? And how many people did he take?
There's money laundering going on that I think he's going to get in trouble with, again, with the law, whether that's the ICC or whatever. He's money laundering. And, you know, he's reaping what he sows. He hopes for the best, but he gets the worst. He's reaping what he sows.
I'm wondering where all the women and children are going to, because that prison in El Salvador is only for men. Because Trump was trying to put women and children, and he said, no, this is only for men. So who knows where the women and children are? I'm
hearing trade embargoes against him. There's other foreign countries that are going to take actions against him. So like we did, like they've done with Russia, there's going to be sanctions. There's going to be sanctions on him. In addition to whatever that ICC wants to do.
Travel is going to be diminished. People being sent over there is going to be diminished and taken away. There's something about a huge network. It could be the UN. That's like, no, we're not supporting this, because they come out ultimately out at the end. But see that travel taken away. He's very nervous and anxious about what he just did. and what he's been doing. And then to be so cavalier about it and come and spit in our faces about it on the world stage, you know?
Look at me. I'm sitting with the president of the U.S. You know, he thought he was hot until.
And here's what I don't understand. The guy's a fucking joke. Nobody on the globe respects Donald Trump. Not Putin, not Kim Jong-un, Kung Pao Chicken, whatever the hell his name is, not Bibi Netanyahu, not Viktor Orban. Nobody respects him because they see how cheaply he can be sold. And all you have to do is fluff his ego a little bit and you have him eating out of your hand like a fucking clown. Nobody respects him. And for him to think it was in his best interest to come here and do what he did, you shit the bed on that one, dude. May you get everything that you deserve.
I remember Trump saying that Vladimir Putin said he was bright. And apparently the word translates closer to shiny, not bright as in intelligent. So you basically you're a distraction. Mm-hmm. You're waving one of those, what do you call them? Sock puppets, not sock puppets, but those things that wave in the wind at the car dealership. That's him. Big Trump balloon.
Mm-hmm. My question is, are we going to get these people back in the U.S. from El Salvador, or is he going to turn around and ship them to somewhere like Libya just to?
Let's ask. And to think that every single Republican in the Congress is so fucking right about it is beyond disturbing, because you cannot tell me that every single Republican is a MAGA nut. That is a very tiny, small portion of the caucus. Small. And like Johnie said, it's always the smallest people that are the loudest.
When they went after Congress people at that prison last week, detention center.
So you cannot tell me. And this whole narrative that Republicans aren't gonna do anything until his poll numbers get smaller, and then they might change. Fuck you and your poll numbers. Your duty and your oath is to the Constitution, not the poll numbers, not if you're going to get reelected. And what makes you think you're going to get reelected when you're letting this man shred everything? And you're just sitting back going, well, you know, there's nothing.
Pulling anybody that he wants off the street.
Or like
including Congress people. Like, you're afraid if you stand up to him, you're going to be the next one that gets yanked into a detention center.
When the solution is so fucking simple. Draw up articles of impeachment, bring it in for a vote, convict everybody, problem done. It's gone.
They've already got the.
How is he going to arrest you when you get him out of office? How is Stephen Miller going to threaten you when he's fucking out of office? The solution is simple. It is fucking simple. That is why it is in the fucking Constitution. You know, I don't fucking understand it. You know, but anyways, what was the question that we were asking?
Will they get them back?
These people back in America, or are they going to do something with them there, or are they going to ship them somewhere else? Will we get them back in America?
No, not immediately.
The judge has ordered.
The Seven of Pentacles in the Tower. So whatever is seeded and planted that is growing over time, the numbers itself. No, this whole plan. No.
Johnie, we still haven't reunited families that he separated from his first fucking term.
From the first term. No. This is not Paris Hilton. This is not people who have sway and cachet. This is not people who have money and influence.
It was the poorest of the poor, most vulnerable in our society. The people that cannot fight back, Johnie.
The citizens care. Your government has to. We can't go far to planes and bring all these people back.
No. And I don't mean to sound callous. I really don't. But I don't want to turn this into the same shit that went on during his first administration when he started separating families and putting kids in cages. I don't want to see people coming into my comments and yelling and screaming to do something. We cannot do anything. Like I said, the solution is simple. Congress, impeach and fucking convict and remove. Period. These cards are not going to change that unless you're willing to hop on a plane and go on a 007 rescue mission yourself. Don't come at us with your anger.
Somebody commented on last week's fundraiser video, well, this was depressing. And it's like, then don't watch. Just like the news can be depressing. Don't watch.
It's not depressing.
We're not going to
watch it.
Yeah, the cards are the cards. You know, I'm not going to pull magic out of a hat. Here's America. They're going to move them. They're going to move them somewhere else. They're going to, with Republicans and this administration, they're going to do a surprise move somewhere else. I don't think they're coming back here. I think they're going to try to move them somewhere else. A lot of anxiety, loss. Something's happening quick with this. The courts are going to continue steadily trying to get them back, find where they are and everything. But I get some are going to die in prison or detention center, and there's a lot of heartbreak around this.
Enough with the fucking courts. Do this, start rounding up the fucking marshals and start throwing motherfuckers in jail. Enough. I get, will they come back? They're currently in a situation, and they will be for a while, living under control. It's under control where they live. And not only that, the abundance of resources that it's going to take to get these people back, to get them back. Because this, if you look at the card, this is the King of Diamonds.
I say we take Trump's new plane from Qatar down there and load it up.
Oh, no, honey. We're going to leave that one just fine and maybe fuck with the engines a little bit. Okay?
Which is of TikTok.
So the problem that I'm seeing with this, because I don't usually look at the pips in smaller reads, but on this one I am. There's something around it where not only does it take a huge amount of resources, but we're just looking at the people in El Salvador who are males. The women and children aren't there. Where are they? Yep. Where are they? You know, and another thing about this read, there's a financial business deal for real estate here. So somebody somewhere besides the $6 million that you're paying, somebody is making a shit ton of money off of this. So I'm just saying.
As they did in his first term.
You know, it's like his first term on steroids. And, you know, yeah, he's a lame duck, but the amount of destruction to our institutions and to our world standing and to our respect and to our economy and to our, can we go back to the 4 years of just fuck the last 4 years. Let's go back way before Trump, because he ushered in an era of nastiness in this country. That needs to go. That needs to go. These people like that lady we were reading about before who made $750,000 for being a racist cunt. But pardon my French.
The problem is the racists were here already. They just feel emboldened now.
That's what I'm saying.
They were already here. So sadly, you know, we have to probably go through another generation or two to really impact racism in this country. It's sad. It's come a long way since the 60s. It's got a long ways to go still. But even if Trump wasn't here, racism would still exist. Hate crimes would still exist.
And you know what needs to be done about that? Take the gloves off. Every single Republican that plays footsies with fucking racists for their own political gain, call them the fuck out. Every last goddamn one of them. Every last one of them.
These guys that arrested the Newark mayor, and were roughhousing the Congress members and stuff. And one of the women's like 78 years old. It's like, oh, they were aggressively charging that. No, a 78-year-old woman is not aggressively charging into these ICE guys who all had masks on up to here, right? Everybody's hiding their faces. Nobody's flashing a badge. They had Homeland Security jackets on and stuff, but they all look like a bunch of fat peanut butter boys. That's what they look like.
There's a bunch of speculation that all these ICE agents are people that he pardoned from
So
January.
You want to talk about tattoos, because he got it after Garcia's tattoos. You wanted to talk about tattoos. Look at some of these ICE agents.
So
they're a freaking cult.
The dog killer, that piece of shit with a face full of Botox and filler, sat there getting her ass chewed the other day because she's about to run out of money. Before the first quarter, she's about to run out of money. And I forget what senator it was, but ripped in, I want to say Chris Murphy, but I think it was Chris Murphy. I could be wrong. Ripped her a new asshole 3 ways to Sundays and told her every single way that she's breaking the law, every single way that she's
told her to her face, you're breaking the law.
To her face that she's breaking the law, to her face. Yeah, Chris Murray, I think it was, or Murphy, whatever. How everything she's doing is unconstitutional. She's about to run out of money. What she decides to do and what she thinks does not supersede what the Constitution and the law dictates. I mean, he ripped her a new ass, and she just sat there because she knows nobody's going to touch her. Congress can't do a fucking thing. Trump can just have them all arrested at this point. Why not? It's just, and what gets me is these Republican senators in that same committee are sitting there watching that, and they're just going along with the person that they appointed to come in there and take away their power. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like you hiring the person to come in and fire you from your job and doing it with a smile on your face. It doesn't make sense, so I want to know, after I didn't watch the whole thing. I only caught little bits and pieces. The only people that I have heard speak out is Murkowski, who said she's afraid. Well, bitch, step the fuck down and get somebody with balls to come in there and do your fucking job. What the lurch looking guy, what's his name? The one that's the new majority leader. What's his name?
Scott something.
Yeah, the tall guy that looks like Lurch. And Paul Ryan. And the only reason he's saying it is because he's afraid they're going to lose power for the next 60 years. Chris Thune, thank you so much. So is anybody else looking at this shit show going, what the hell are we doing? Because that's what I can't get through my head, Jen.
If it didn't shake them up seeing Congress people threatened, but the MAGA people in Congress were like, well, they were in the wrong. They shouldn't have gone there. No, that's their constitutional right. And not just Congress people.
Now they're coming after the Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're coming after this. After Mitch McConnell worked so hard to rig the fucking Supreme Court, now you're going after those people too.
You have to have a certain amount of forethought and compassion too, which they don't have, because you have to understand. Well, you don't have to, but you should understand that I'm not the one he's coming for yet.
Yes.
Because I agree with him right now, but look at Marjorie Taylor Greene. She said one thing that was against what he said. And then now, next thing you know, he wants Brian Kemp to have her job instead of her. So what is it going to take for him to just say, okay, you're next too?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then who's going to stop him?
Bless their hearts. We have Ketanji Jackson and Sotomayor, when they're doing lectures, signaling like, no, we got to put brakes on this.
And you and here's the thing about the Senate. Okay, the way that our Congress is set up is that basically anybody can get into the House. That's more of the commoners. That's why those elections are every 2 years, because we are supposed to be closer to our communities in the House of Representatives. Okay, that means you're at the bottom of the totem pole. The Senate is where the more elite people go. You're not going to see a Marjorie Taylor Greene in the Senate. Why? Not only is she abhorrent and rejected by the majority of her little district in in Georgia. But the people in the Senate are usually more educated than those in the Congress. Do you see
True
what I'm
politicians.
saying? Yes.
But we got AG Paxton out in Texas, the most corrupt AG ever, wanting to run for the Senate to serve with Ted Cruz and not corning up.
No, Ken Paxton of Texas.
Yes, of Texas. He wants to be in the Senate, so he wants to run. What is it, Cornyn? The other guy from Texas, like he's not MAGA enough, so Ken Paxton wants to go in with. So it's him and Ted Cruz as the senators from Texas.
So, what are the rest of the Republicans in the Congress thinking?
So I got the King of Wands, the Hierophant, 4 Wands, 10 of Swords, and the King of Cups. Always the problem. You can have all of the opinions you want, but you don't say none of them out loud. The King of Wands, they want a leader of some sort. There are some people there that have a lot of discord going on behind the scenes because they see what's happening. They have an opinion on it, but are they going to try to stop it? No, but the hair is on fire. There's a lot of regrets as well with the 5 of Cups, a lot of sadness, a lot of regret, that type of thing. But they're kind of choosing to see, well, at least we're still in the majority. And so they know it's messed up, but they also don't want to be the one to try to fix it either. Because now you're going to be singled out, and are you going to send me out there by myself? And then if I turn around, are all the people going to suddenly disappear?
And here's the thing, Johnny: power in numbers. Donald Trump and his administration is one man.
Yes.
Topple that and topple everything around him, and we have a clean deck of cards. His approval rating, and I hate to say this because whatever, but what are we going to wait for it to be 22% before they're like, oh yeah, okay, maybe we should to save our own? By that time, you have lost every shred of integrity if you had any, because you had to wait on public opinion. Fuck public opinion. You are the one that took an oath. You took an oath of office to defend and protect the Constitution. Not
always find a poll that says he's the greatest person ever.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait and see which way the wind's blowing. That's not what you do. You see what I'm saying? So, anyways.
Yep, we're barely past this first 100 days. Justice here.
It's the longest 20 years of my life.
My God.
They will take some power back from him because he's betraying our country and sending everything, into chaos. So they will take some strength back from him. But what I get is like they're trying to hang on through all this chaos, A, for their donors, and B, until the midterms. And it's like, you can't let him get away with this till the midterms. Look what he's done in the first 100 days. There's a lot of them that are getting a new perspective and want to return to the way the Republican Party used to be. I do get they will move forward and take an action on the White House to do a power grab. But they're going to, like where they've been waiting, they wanted to get through the midterms before they did it. They're going to have to do something before the midterms.
They're going to have to do something before
we lose our habeas corpus.
What were you saying, Johnny?
I said it's probably the tariffs, because that's going to ruin everything.
And please remind everybody that's in the back. That's the only thing Rand Paul cared about. Not about people hurting, not about people losing their jobs, not about not being able to afford the roof over your head or feeding your families. No, when it came down to
people,
the last time that we did this, we lost power for 60 years.
Yeah, deporting people, they don't care.
Technically, they still have lost power because they haven't had a president since Bush, and he kind of wasn't supposed to be elected either. Donald Trump cheated. That's how he's here. He didn't win either. We still would have a Democratic president if they would just, anyway.
Let's see these senators sit down and try to explain to their own kids that Trump killed Santa Claus this year. Sorry,
Jennie,
you only
Jennie,
get $2 if you can get that.
you cannot tell me, based on all the shit that we've seen from their town halls, that they're completely oblivious to the anger of their fucking constituents. The chickens have come home to roost. He did not have the support to begin with. If that was so, if he was supported by the populace, why so many protests in less than 100 days? Why are his approval ratings in the fucking tank? Why are Republicans getting their asses
that are getting
out?
bigger? Which, by the way, the June 14th protest is going to be huge.
And not just here in America, it's global. Let me remind you, it's global. Yes. The only people stuck in their own bullshit are the people in the Beltway, because everybody can see it clear as day. He installed.
I can spend millions on a freaking military parade June 14th, but I can't put a little bit of money into feeding kids. Come on.
Hold on. Let me stop you right there. This is not Donald Trump's birthday parade. That is not what this is for. This is an Army birthday parade for the Army, 250 years. He just happened to commandeer it.
He's commandeering it to turn it into a Kim Jong-un parade.
He's commandeering it. So he's sullying the history of our
And he wants to do away with Veterans Day.
Oh, yeah.
And Flag Day.
So, yeah. I mean, why not? We already have the Gulf of America because he said so.
Lord Jesus.
So this is what are they thinking? Tower, ring, letter, book, anchor. An official promise to a document that is knowledgeable. And this document is what is this project. This here is Project 2025. Okay. But members of Congress know that they have made an official promise to a document that they know about, that promise is solid. You can't move it. The ultimate goal. So your oath to the Constitution. Okay. This right here would be like a Project 2025, and an institution that has to be steadfast and keeping to their oath. Okay. Here, bear, sun, coffin, whip, and ship. Their power and his power, success, or power and energy ends. It comes to an end. Abuse and anger, a lot of abuse and distancing, trying to get away from it. This right here, foreign governments, a lot of disputes and a lot of arguments and promises that have ended or come to an end. Foreign documents or documents for travel. Okay, so we could be looking at the deportation of migrants and all the other stuff around travel, but also commerce. Okay, because here, this right here is telling me that our financial success ends. Do you see that? So not only our power, but financial success comes to an end. So what's he going to do? Blame Biden again? Because remember, he took credit for Biden's economy.
He's turned us into a third world country. He's going to blame Biden.
We're going to look like Cuba. The reason Cuba is the way it is, stuck in 1950, is because they don't have trade partners. Okay?
Driving cars from the 1950s.
Exactly. There's a saying, en Cuba no se encuentra ni un huevo. You can't find an egg in Cuba because there's no freaking trade. Do you see what I'm saying?
You can get one here. You're just going to spend $15 on an egg.
You know, and pretty soon it'll be 300, you know?
Yeah.
So let me see, what else can I find here? They know what's coming. They can see the writing clear on the wall. It's clear as day. Financial ruin, companies that are going to shut down, possible power outages, their own loss of power, abuse of power that they are refusing to stop, promises that are made in regards to travel or transferring people. So the deportation, I mean, abuse, knowledge of abuse right there. There's knowledge of all the abuses, and yet they do nothing.
Because it's done in plain sight. They have to have knowledge of it.
You know, it's just, but at the end of it, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some people that are talking about moving away because it's anchor and ship. If it was this way, that means arriving at your destination. This way, it's saying time to pack up and move.
Pick up the anchor.
Pick up the anchor and let's go because this is out of control. Can you guys go ahead and read? I got to go feed the baby because he was screaming at me. I don't know what other questions you had, Jenny.
I wanted to look at habeas corpus, if they would be able to do away with that.
Well, that would require a constitutional convention, wouldn't it?
That would require Donald Trump saying so.
That would require Donald Trump knowing how to spell habeas corpus. Let me go feed
They think they can just executive order it away.
Yeah.
He does it to everything else.
It won't stand up in courts, but you know how it'll take a while to get through the courts.
Yeah.
It won't stand up in courts, but if he does away with habeas corpus, he'll go after more judges. He'll just pull them off their bench and arrest them.
And you know what? I don't mean to.
And when we go to protests, they'll start, arresting us, rounding us up.
You know what? I don't mean to sound like an asshole, but since we're on this train of lawlessness and abuse of power, I would love to see nothing more than Mitch McConnell get rounded up and thrown in prison himself.
Oh, please.
You know, even though I know it's wrong and unconstitutional and unlawful, but this is the result of your fucking fuckery right here.
Do it on May 24th so I can have a happy day.
Mm-hmm. I'll be right back, you guys.
It holds the Knight of Pentacles and the High Priestess. That would be your knowledge there. It holds, but there are a bunch of things out there that they would like to find ways to get around because they're kind of in the way. And so with the Hermit card, there's your investigation, the Four of Cups. They want to try to find a way to change the reality of things. And that's not just with that, the habeas corpus, the Constitution itself, the media powers, because they don't want people to sow dissension like they're doing the whole 100% tariff against foreign movies because it sows dissension into this country. And so they want to control everything. So even though I think it stands, that doesn't mean they let it go.
This may be what gets Congress to move into action, because I get like charging in that like a bull in a china shop. That would be Trump. But something they desire, no, it hangs on. There's a lot of people talking about this behind closed doors, and shedding light on this, and this is not accepted. So I get surprises in our government to change this and try to get to higher ground. So I think that will be when we start to see a shift away from the person in power and trying to figure out how to constrict him and reel him in. Wow. A.G. Paxton wanting to run for the Senate, be a co-senator with, I guess he wants his wife to be called ugly too.
Him first.
Him and Ted Cruz. Can you imagine?
No, I cannot.
With all his, he's already trashed all his lawsuits or whatever. How's he gonna do? They would have to rig it, I'm getting, to get him in, but that's what they did with Ted.
This is a successful completion. I just finished a tarot class where I was trying to say, read the cards for what they are, not what you want to see. I mean, mind you, he's replacing another Republican, so both of them can go away if you just ask me. But this is successful. This is your structure and your plans that come to a completion, and then this is success. The moon and the Four of Pentacles, though, say watch this carefully, because the moon hides things, and it hides it on purpose. The Four of Pentacles also withholds information too, because it's paranoid about what people will find. And so I ain't saying he's going to cheat. I'm just saying watch.
I'm saying he's going to cheat. The thief. He's going to be shifting votes around right and left, doing, he secures it because he does what they've always done, which is get to higher ground by harvesting votes. And there may be a new form of corruption, if you can imagine, of how they do this. He's got somebody he's working with to do this, but he steals the victory. He's going to cheat. Janine Pirro.
Box wine,
and her and Hedgeseth should get married.
Oh Lord, drunk and drunker.
Dumb and dumber, drunk and drunker.
What did I miss?
Drunk and drunker.
What did I miss? What are you guys laughing about?
Janine Pirro, and I said Janine Pirro should marry Hedgeseth, and Johnie said drunk and drunker, like Dumb and Dumber.
Lord,
Trump wants to name her as interim U.S. attorney, which his last candidate got knocked down. How's Janine gonna do?
Wait, what happened?
He had somebody else that got knocked down that they did not support.
They're calling
her up for what?
You guys are calling this the liquor cabinet.
Yeah, wine box and whiskey leaks. Wine box and whiskey leaks. That's it, Chris Cool.
The liquor cabinet.
She's been drunk on Fox News.
Yes.
The liquor cabinet. Jesus Christ. Okay, what was the question?
Well, how's she gonna do here? Is she gonna get a position in Trump's administration?
Why would you want it?
But why would she give up her few $1 million job to go be part of this clown show, and then on top of it, possibly get debarred and indicted herself?
Because she like the rest of them, she wants to get an attorney too, I guess.
Her voice, to me, is almost worse than MTG's, if you can imagine. Like, it grates on my nerves. When she starts in, and it's like, oh, good God, go have another drink till you pass out. Please pass out. Her voice is... And everybody's playing clips of her, on the news and stuff. It's like, please stop. I can't stand her voice.
Everything she say has to be so intense.
I can't with that woman.
I don't think so. I mean... anything's possible, listen, but it don't look all promising here. This would be the leadership role.
She supposedly isn't quitting her Fox job till she's got it.
It just don't look like. I mean, again, anything's possible because there's your deals card with the Two of Cups. So there's like the meeting of the minds. There's the devil, so it's undue influence, or not undue, but under duress probably. The Nine of Pentacles is secure, but it comes with the Four of Cups. It's like she's secure where she is. And so she should stick with her multi-million-dollar contract spouting lies and garbage.
Achieving success at the news.
Yeah, she's blocked from this legal position. She is totally blocked. Bad news, not accepted. keep working for your little Murdoch and his billions. Okay, I gotta ask.
I have a question.
Okay.
MTG lost her shit the other day. Point of order, point of order, point of order, point of order. Because the lady, I forget her name, Stansberry, I think is her name. Marjorie Taylor Greene, I don't even know what committee it was, but she had a misrepresentation behind her on a big picture that she blew up.
Yeah, she hid one of the fingers, so it made it look like he was flipping a bird.
Where it was looking like he was flipping a bird. And I don't even know what committee that was. But Stansberry called her out. Yeah, and then she held up the picture and she's like, that's a misrepresentation and you're trying to misrepresent da 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 da. Dude, this was Marjorie Taylor Greene. Point of order, point of order. Like, she lost her shit, Johnny. It was the funniest thing. And so the
like a child pitching a temper tantrum.
It went on for like minutes, where she's just slamming the gavel.
She did it, what, 90 times, 70 times or something crazy?
Yeah, it was something insane. So then she tries to go back to her misrepresentation. And Stansberry, where the camera's propped on Marjorie Taylor Greene with the misrepresentation behind her, and all you see is Stansberry holding up a picture of the real So she's sitting there talking shit.
Here's the picture before you photoshopped it.
Yeah, so she's sitting there talking shit, and then you see Stansberry's hand come up and hold the picture by her head, like waving it. This is
That's what I would do.
Oh my God.
Petty Boots has hit Congress.
That is something I would do. But like, no, this is what it looked like.
Yep. So Marjorie Taylor Greene is dying to go to the Senate, which everybody's saying is a political nightmare for Republicans because they will be guaranteed to lose because she'll be going up against Ossoff. Nope. And Ossoff does better than all Republicans, but Marjorie Taylor Greene is at the bottom because she's hugely unpopular outside of her tiny district of two-teeth cousin fuckers, you know? So, so I'm sorry. Everybody, they're trying to get the Attorney General from Georgia to run because he's the only one that can beat Ossoff. But Marjorie Taylor Greene in her delusions really thinks that is she gonna run for Senate? Is she gonna run for Senate? Because if she runs for Senate, she would.
Ossoff is not Republican. He's the Dem, but he gets pretty good numbers.
We have two Dems from Georgia, Ossoff and the Reverend. What's his name?
Warnock.
There you go.
I started to say Warlock. I'm like, no.
Warnock. We need a couple of them right about now.
Mm-hmm. And
if he was a Warlock, we'd sick him on MTG.
So is she gonna run for Senate? I mean, girl, keep drinking that fucking Kool-Aid. Keep drinking it. I encourage you. Please keep going. You are the brightest.
He runs for the Senate and loses. You are the
brightest star in the sky, Marjorie Taylor Greene. You should run for president next. Please.
She'll lose her seat in Congress just running.
4 of Pentacles. I think in 10 of Pentacles, someone on their side may try to convince her to stay where she is.
Ah, God damn it.
Try to convince, but I think they will try to convince her to stay. Change is not good in this in particular situation because, as you said, if she loses that race, then she not just loses that race, but she loses her seat too because she vacated. So
and remember, everybody, the only reason she got the seat that she did is because she ran uncontested.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody that's ever tried to run against her, she has bullied and run out of the street and run out of the neighborhood.
And bear in mind, she's a multi-millionaire.
Mm-hmm, who just got caught insider trading, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's new problems coming to her from the law. There's guilt and punishment and suffering, new, and then there's the law. Is she going to run for Senate? This says no. You got bigger problems with the courts or the law right now, or you will be soon. So I got to know.
I get there's illumination coming out on her, something that is really bad news for her, and people aren't accepting it, whatever it is. Like they're dissatisfied with her and try to bring a change even to her congressional seat because they look at her as the bully. So there's something coming out with her. It wouldn't surprise me if it has to do with these mothers and children that are missing.
I was hoping that you'd say she discovered a new STD because she got it.
She is one.
She is one.
She is.
It's something very surprising, and that also to me is children. But I get the Democrat secures it and wins. So,
for the person that was asking in the chat, we had read on this on weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks ago. When Trump started messing with the market, I think it was right before Marjorie Taylor Greene got caught. And I had gotten that there's a woman that's looking into it and is going to take action. I think Autumn was on with us during that time. And I said, it's a woman that's already on it and moving. It wouldn't be Pat Bondi. The only other woman that I could think of, and Johnie confirmed, was Letitia James, because Letitia James has jurisdiction over everything that happens in the stock market. So, and she's already announced that she's looking into it. I think she announced it last week or the week before.
She's getting Pam Bondi to try and investigate her now.
So Letitia, I would love to see Pam Bondi try to go toe to toe with Letitia James. You do not want to piss off a fucking black woman that thinks you got the intelligence of a fucking squirrel, and that's an insult to squirrels. You know,
who had the balls, or the only one that got 34 convictions, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't go toe to toe with Letitia James unless you're ready to get knocked the fuck out, you know. So, but by all means, Pam, by all means, go ahead. So, what other question did you have, Jennie?
I want to know, will they reopen Alcatraz?
I just saw a video where the people were out there doing the construction. I'm like, that was quick. Where did the money come from? Because I'm sure Congress didn't approve it.
Because none of the pipes are all rusted out. I saw a MAGA person who went for a tour and did a video on TikTok, and I saw a clip of it in a YouTube video where the guy from Alcatraz is like, they would almost have to rebuild it from the ground up because there's no pipe, no nothing.
Back in 1999. So do the math.
I was there in the 1980s and it was decrepit then.
Yeah. 1999 was I went to San Francisco back in where you can take the cruise from Pier 34 across, because you could see Alcatraz clear from Pier 34 on the wharf. And it was dilapidated.
Yeah. It
was fucking dilapidated. I mean, the multi-billion-dollar job to completely overhaul. And not only that, it was shut down because it was the most expensive federal prison to run in the entire country.
Right. Food and everything has to go over by boat, you know.
More expensive than Rikers Island, more expensive than
Trump watches Escape from Alcatraz and decides, let's reopen Alcatraz.
And here's what I told Jen. Somebody should tell him that Alcatraz is gone because Nicolas Cage and Sean Connery blew it up in the 90s. Okay, or show him the movie and he'll think it's not there anymore.
Well, I'm kind of hoping maybe they will redo Alcatraz and put Trump there.
I've been saying it
all
for
his
years,
little
man.
minions.
It's haunted.
I've been saying it for years. Alcatraz is haunted. Put that motherfucker there. You don't have to worry about the logistics of what.
I wouldn't even rehab it. I would throw him in those rusty ass jails. I would just throw him in there. No heat, no nothing.
No. Throw him off the fucking pier. Swim, motherfucker. Swim. With a bunch of red meat and fucking blood
batteries.
So he has to fucking out swim the great whites. Yeah, with batteries, Jen. Put batteries on him too.
Alcatraz, are they going to reopen it?
I don't think so. This is vanity project as well. It's like Barr saying they brought back the death penalty and the electric chair and all that kind. Like it's cute. It's for the people who eat that kind of stuff. But this is bad news or negative news with the Page of Swords and then the Devil. There's something to it to where this is not. They're not trying to find new prison ground. They're trying to go and get the notorious bad prison, and so because they want to look like overlords. And I'll send you to Alcatraz and all that kind. It's a stunt. It's all it is. I mean, it's a stupid. But...
No, it's a grift. Like Build the Wall Fund that Steve Bannon still has this court case coming up on. It's a grift.
I get money,
Alcatraz is done. It's toast. They're not going to build anything there. Like it's toast. It's a grift.
I get money that is secret for a project that gets mailed.
That gets what?
Project or money, shopping, transactions, secret project, mail. So it's a way to write a check for something that goes somewhere where it's not supposed to. This is a check. Paper money.
Yeah.
A check.
Yeah. It's like the Build the Wall Fund. Send us a check.
But it's business secret. Do you see what I'm saying? So yeah, more money, more way to, like Jen said, grift, steal money.
Because they never built the wall with the Build the Wall Fund. They're going to build Alcatraz Fund.
And that's what I'm saying. The more.
But you're right, Johnny. It's not going to get done. They're not going to build anything.
The more that I sit here and review the last 4 years, yes, Joe Biden dug us out of a hole. Yes, we came back swinging with one of the best economies. You do not understand how livid I am that the Department of Justice didn't bother to lift a finger on the innumerable crimes that motherfucker committed in broad daylight in front of everybody's faces. And then sat on their asses and did nothing, and then basically said, maybe we'll catch you next time. You know what I mean? Because the billions of dollars that are missing from Build the Wall, the billions or millions of dollars from the emoluments clause, foreign and domestic, the missing fucking parents and children, were people held accountable for that? Do you see what I'm saying? Like this laundry list, because the Department of Justice was too fucking timid to rise to the occasion. So the next people that come in, we don't have time to play nice. It's balls to the walls, stand 10 toes down. Because
did you get a chance to watch the video I texted you of Melania presenting the what's her name? Bush Senior's wife.
Laura? Was her name Laura Bush?
No, not Laura. That's Bush Jr.'s wife.
I don't know.
The first Bush, Mama.
Yeah, Big Bush. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Big Bush, First Lady. Barbara, thank you. Barbara Bush. Anyway, Melania was presenting the new stamp honoring Barbara Bush, which she didn't even invite the Bush family to that commemorative stamp. But watching her reading the teleprompter, going from this one to this one to this one, and watching her eyes and reading very poorly, by the way, because English is not her first
what
language.
What do you mean? She came here on an Einstein visa, Jen.
Be best. I read best the teleprompter, and now I can look over here at this one. And it was god awful. It was the worst speech.
Be best.
And this is another thing that I don't understand. The Trumps
the only thing
in New York, they are known as like the bottom of the barrel trash people. You do not do business with a Trump because you know you're going to get swindled.
The woman rarely comes out and makes an appearance as First Lady, and she does this god awful presentation of this stamp without the Bush family being invited. Weren't even invited.
They probably didn't want to show up anyways.
I wouldn't.
I mean, and the more I think about it, his inauguration that was held indoors for the first time ever, it wasn't because of security concerns. I bet you that motherfucker didn't even have 3,000 people show up. Guaranteed, because how they managed to fit them all into a fucking arena, and it wasn't.
It was really funny because Melania is like just saying glowing things about Barbara and her broken English. But they kept playing clips in the video of Barbara Bush talking trash on Trump because she hated Trump. She was like, oh no, he's got to go. He's
Well,
got to go.
You know what that means, right? The check cleared. Melania's check cleared. That's all that means.
I go present stamp. I lick it.
That's all that means. I can't stand these people.
I lick new stamp.
So yeah. Yeah, that's all I got for tonight. People suck and I hate them. But happy Mother's Day.
I had to close with Melania. Yeah.
No, she's another one of those god awful people that.
She's a Trump.
And you know what? For the longest time, Bear and I was like, no, he's a minor. He's a minor. He's a minor. He's a fucking cunt too. He's a cunt too. The only one that is not an asshole is Mary. That's it. Anybody around that circle is the most disgusting.
She's not a Rick Trump. She's not a Donald Trump kid.
They're just disgusting freaking criminals. And I found it hilarious when that one preacher lady was talking to him and talking about them having sympathy and compassion and all this other stuff. And the video panned over to Tiffany Trump and the look on her face is like, is she talking about us? How dare she? It's like, girl, you're the nastiest one here. Cause you're just hanging on their coattails. Your own family don't like you, Tiffany. Okay. Your family doesn't like you, Tiffany.
You're somebody else's child.
Trump probably tried to have you aborted too.
I think we missed some super chats, Becca, if you want to.
Mine only shows, let me see. Daniel Martin, Yahidia Medium, Sue Todd, June Hill, SW, Rose Blue, Cheryl Giles, Orchid Lily. Those are the ones that I'm seeing.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
So thank you guys so much. I should try to come on this week since I'm done cleaning my house. Well, sort of. Now I got the post frat party disaster to clean up. So, yay! Next week we will be on Mr. Johnny's channel, and I hope he does get on a plane and it crashes. I'm just saying.
not Johnny.
Manifesting that
not
shit.
Johnny.
Not Johnny. No, not Johnny. Johnny is Johnny is under the protection of the Care Bears. Okay, so he's okay.
Love Bridge.
It's the Antichrist. Okay, and by Antichrist, I don't mean a supernatural being. I'm talking about the man that looks like leftover Tupperware spaghetti.
That's the funniest thing ever.
It's like after I saw it, I can't unsee it. I can't.
He said that orange rings. You have been stained.
Orange Tupperware spaghetti.
Chef Stupid RD.
I can't. Well, happy Mother's Day, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Oh my God.